Hi, I'm Joanie Marx, and welcome to my brand new series, which I'm calling Weekly Insights with Joanie. So to start today, I want to introduce you to the 7 myths of love and happiness, which you probably are not aware of, but the truth of it is that these myths have been influencing and controlling your life pretty much without your awareness. And in part 2 of this video, we're going to take you on a journey to, now that you're a little more aware of these myths, 3 very important ways to start breaking their influence over you. And I'm going to include today some slides. So these are PowerPoint slides that are edited excerpts from my brand new online course entitled Finding True Love, which is exclusively on udemy.com. So let's get started. What are the 7 myths of love and happiness? The 7 myths of love and happiness. So number 1 is the myth of scarcity. Number 2, the myth of self-worth. 3, the myth of love. 4, the myth of Prince Charming. 5, the myth of aging. 6, the myth of physical beauty. And 7, the myth of shame and blame. Now what I'd like to do is take you through 3 slides, which very briefly explain what each of these 7 myths are about. And the reason I'm making it a little bit simple here is because part of what we're doing in this first video, and we're carrying on to the second video, is that your awareness of what these myths are, and you'll be able to see them in action in your own life. The myth of scarcity tells you there isn't enough love, happiness, and success to go around. The myth of self-worth convinces you that your worth and value are based on how others see you. And the myth of love tells a false story, that love exists outside of you and is both limited and elusive. The myth of Prince Charming represents anything you chase after outside of yourself to fill an inner void. And the myth of aging establishes and reinforces a false belief that aging is a disease. The myth of physical beauty says to be loved, admired, and desired, you must be perceived as physically beautiful. This is usually based on unrealistic images portrayed in the media. And the myth of shame and blame is the strict guardian of all the myths and discredits your inner authentic self. Now, in the next 3 slides, I'm going to take you through a brief explanation of each of these myths, and you will see how it influences you and society at large. The 7 myths of love and happiness are introduced to us at an early stage of life and enforced long into adulthood. Each of the myths have a distinct way of governing choices we make in life, and they also frame the experiences these choices produce. The myths drive us to achieve far more than we once thought possible. But these achievements come with a hefty price, for they also inflict deep-seated pain and a lack of fulfillment while stirring up prolonged bouts of angst and confusion. Now, myths are also commonly called stories or beliefs because they aren't true. But if the 7 myths of love and happiness have such a profound effect on our lives, then how did this come to be? I want to talk about that and to give you the answer in the next 2 slides. The 7 myths of love and happiness are smoke and mirrors that frame a distorted reality that appears to be real. They produce a false storyline for what is truth and where it can be accessed. Therefore, the myths influence you to seek for love, success, and happiness outside of yourself. The mythical nature of the myths is that they lead you to believe you have limited powers to change the rules of life. This leads most of society into a blindingly accepting limiting beliefs about what you can be, do, and have. Starting from the awareness that you now perceive that the myths exist, I'm going to take you through in the final slide 10 empowering affirmations, which are going to help begin the process of breaking the influence of the myths over your life. When you are feeling the influence of the myths or other people's opinions about what you can be, do, or have, say the following: I am more than enough. I am safe to be creative. I am open to positive change. I am unique, distinct, and beautiful. I am free to be my authentic self. I create from joy and inner peace. I create through an empowered mindset. I am fully supported in letting go of old beliefs. My best effort is always good enough. So how do we find true love, success, and happiness without having the 7 myths influence our life and our destiny? We're going to talk about this in part 2 of this series, and I'm going to share with you 3 empowering techniques to break free from the influence of the 7 myths of love and happiness. And until we meet again, every morning, please look into your mirror, smile at yourself, and say, I am my own best friend, for I came into this world to be myself. For that I came. All my best till next time.